Hello and welcome to this video series on Daily Current Affair Booster. If you're preparing for any of these exams, say IAS, CDS, FCAT, NDA or CDS, this video is going to be really helpful for you because here we discuss all the important news snippets from our newspaper, The Hindu Indian Express, All India Radio, PIB and RSTV. So this will be dated on 23rd October 2018. So let's start with the quote. Set your goals high and don't stop till you get there. So if you have set goals for yourself, it can be weekly, monthly, yearly. Make sure that you're taking the optimum amount of steps to move towards the goal because goal setting is always the first step. It has to be followed by lot many steps towards it. So the first news is about the Green Climate Fund. So this fund was formed under the mandate of UNFCCC. So this is basically known as United Nations Framework or Convention on Climate Change. So as you know, climate change is a very big issue. The temperature of the earth is rising to 1.5 degree of the pre-industrial era. So for that, so that developing and developed country gets the right technology and amount of finance so that they can use the practices which will be used to reduce the emission, this fund was formed. So as you know, the mandate body that is UNFCCC was formed in 1992, and it is very famous for the 1992 Earth Summit. So based on that, we have gone for this climate fund, and the Green Climate Fund has one more thing, is to create a climate resilient development. That means switch more to the renewable source of energy like solar energy, wind energy, because using this the emission that you create is reduced. There is always provision of the carbon tax, this which was implemented in various countries. Also, the this basically Green Climate Fund is based in Incheon, which is located in South Korea, and the founded date was basically on 2010. Coming to UNFCCC, as I've already told you, formed in 1992 and very famous for the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, which happened in 3rd to 14th June of 1992. This directly comes, this basically the headquarters is located in New York. And coming to Bharain, Bharain is a very small country in the Persian Gulf. As are we discussing Saudi Arabia, it is very close to it. Also, you need to know how many countries actually touch the Persian Gulf. You can see Qatar here, UAE here, Saudi Arabia. You'll see here one more country known as Kuwait, Iraq, Iran. I'll show you the same thing in a bigger map, and the capital of Bahrain, you must remember, is Manama. So you can see here Iran, Qatar, small country known as Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and you might even see Oman. So this strait is very important because it's known as Strait of Hormuz. Here there is one more strait known as Mandab Strait, which goes to the Red Sea, and here you'll see the Suez Canal, which is very important in Egypt. Moving forward, this is about the 27th Fusion Energy Conference, FEC 2018, which was held in Gandhinagar, which is in Gujarat. So the whole purpose, as I've already told you, the energy security is very important. Since you know, in 1990, when the Gulf War happened, we had only so much of petroleum reserve that we could sustain only for 3 days. So what's the solution? So to actually switch from the petroleum to the other resources available, you can move to biomass, you can move to electricity through solar energy or wind energy. But here what we're talking about is basically use of nuclear fusion. As you know, nuclear fusion is basically when two atoms collide, they produce a lot of energy, and this energy will produce a lot of heat, and this heat is used to boil the water, and the steam formed will run the turbine, and that will produce a lot of energy. So here they are going to discuss all the technology and research and development that has happened across the world on nuclear fusion technology. So as you know, the whole purpose of them is to use the atoms for the right purpose, because the last time it was used, we ended up with Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs. So here it will be under the International Atomic Energy Agency, which has its headquarters in Vienna and Australia. So the whole purpose of this particular agency is to promote the right purpose or the right use of atoms, and this was formed in 1957. And the next news is about the Croatia's deputy prime minister is in New Delhi. This country is really important because even in FIFA they were second, they lost to France, and I've already told you about its capital. It's basically Zagreb. You need to know that it touches a very important sea known as Adriatic Sea, and Adriatic Sea is very close to Italy. And you need to understand this Gulf of Venice. Venice, you know, it's a place in Italy, and the neighboring countries of Croatia are very important. I've discussed this before: Slovenia, Hungary, Serbia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, and here you find Montenegro. And that's all for this. And this is basically located in Europe, if you didn't know that. The special courts on Benami transaction case. So what the has been done is basically they are creating new codes, and you need to understand what Benami transactions are. If you have a lot of money, what do? so that you are not caught by government, you start transferring them to your driver, to friends, to relatives. So all these transactions are known as benami transactions. So these are basically prohibited under the act known as Prohibition of Benami Property Transaction Act of 1988. But it's very age old and it needs to be redefined because there are a lot of technologies can be used to get this benami transactions done. For example, the emergence of cryptocurrency, the bitcoins, you can send money through various ways through which RBI or any government institution cannot track you. So that's the reason we need to now redefine Benami transaction. If you are caught under this act, you will be charged for 7 years of jail with fine. Also, the whole purpose is to curb the black money that exists. So we are gonna propose a new bill of the will basically Benami transaction of 2016, which will redefine this whole Benami transaction and make the laws more stringent. Moving forward, this is about NITI Ayog, guys. They are actually having a lecture series which will be held in Vigyan Bhavan, which is located in New Delhi. So the whole purpose or the whole topic theme is basically artificial intelligence for all, leveraging artificial intelligence for inclusive growth. As you know, they have been very much initiating the artificial intelligence technology, data mining technology in the country because most of the startups they want to use this technology and harness in the field of agriculture, in the field of employment, because this technology is here to stay. So NITI Ayog becomes very important institution. You need to know the full form of it. It's basically National Institution for Transforming India. This body has replaced the earlier Planning Commission, which was also an executive order. So the reason why it was removed, the Planning Commission, because of the power overreach that they showed on the Finance Commission. They started to distribute resources between state and center, which was not their own mandate. So you need to understand the NITI Ayog's purpose because this might come up in your exam. There might be just four statements and one of them would be wrong. So the first aim of NITI Ayog is to achieve the sustainable development goal. The SDG, there are basically 17 SDG which I've shown you already, and you need to achieve them by 2030. So this is the first mandate. The next thing is about promoting cooperative federalism. Federalism basically sharing of power between center and state. So in through this institution you can share the power between center and state easily. And its approach is basically bottom to top approach. Here they work on the village level, and when you work on a village level then you optimally develop the cities. When you develop the cities you move to the states, and when the states are developed your country is developed. So this is the kind of bottom to top approach that they use. And the earlier Planning Commission, they used to have the top guys who will make the policies and try to implement it down, which usually never works. And the Planning Commission usually had 5 year plans, but here we have a 15 years roadmap, which includes 7 years of vision, strategy, and action plan. And this was formed in 2015, NITI Ayog. It has been 3 years, and yes, that's all. And the headquarters is basically in New Delhi. And the reason why this particular institution becomes important is the chairman is usually the Prime Minister, and now Narendra Modi, and the vice chairman is Rajiv Kumar, and the CEO of NITI Ayog is Amitabh Kant. And the next news is about the renaming of states, guys, because you have recently heard about renaming of cities, say Allahabad to Prayagraj, or there are talks of changing names of Shimla to Shamla. So along with that, there is a name change in a state. So West Bengal has proposed changing its name to Bangla, but Ministry of External Affairs has said this might lead to confusion in the international forum because it sounds similar to Bangladesh. So because we have a very cordial relationship with Bangladesh, we are planning to convince West Bengal not to change its name to West Bengal Bangla. The reason which they have cited is basically in any national meeting they are asked to speak the last because their name starts with W. So that's the reason they want to change it, because after they change the name to Bangla, they'll be fourth in the line. So you need to know what were the three names before them. They are basically Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh. So here this whole process is initiated either by parliament or state legislator. Once it is initiated, it needs parliamentary approval. Parliament will approve it using simple majority using the article 3 and 4. Now whenever this happens, before that it needs the assent from the president. So president will send the bill to state legislature and they will discuss, and whatever they discuss or whatever the verdict comes is basically non-binding on president, because here all the power is concentrated with parliament when it comes to changing the name or size of a state. So once by simple majority it is passed, the name is changed from them. So the whole initiation can start from parliament or the state legislative. Whenever it starts with state legislative, they send a request to the home ministry. Home ministry will create a list and they will create an amendment bill because a schedule 1 has to be changed. Schedule 1 basically is a list of all the states, their extent, their geographical area. So it has to be changed to send the constitutional amendment bill to the parliament, and it is also passed through a simple majority only. So that's all, guys. Let's revise again. We studied about renaming of states. We studied about the NITI Ayog, the lecture series on artificial intelligence. We studied about creation of special codes for Binami transaction case. And then we studied about the Croatia map. Its capital basically is Zagreb. We understood about the 27th Fusion Energy Conference. It is related to the nuclear fusion technology which can be presently used. You need to understand there are not many power plants which are using this technology right now. So this is under development. Next thing, we studied about Bharain because of the Green Climate Fund which was formed under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And that's all, guys. Thank you and have a nice day. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. And thank you. Jai Hind.